Welcome back to the Tiger Game Hanger. This is Mike. I'm coming at you with the weekly news and review for November 13th, 2022. Of course, we have Transformers news, both Masterpiece and Legends, and of course the mainline. We also have some G.I. Joe news. There's a few things going on in the G.I. Joe community, a couple things showing up here and there. We also have some Masters of the Universe stuff. Yeah, some CGI stuff. A few things that have kind of slipped by me that came and went. Well, it's not gone yet. And then we have Thundercats Super 7, Clear Jaga. I missed this one last week. I had the picture, forgot to talk about it. And, of course, a little bit of Star Wars news. We'll get into all this and more coming up. First off, what's new shows their annual 11/11 sale. So one of the things about this was the kickback on points. You got the premium members got 1,000 points and regular members got 500 points. Basically, you got your whole membership back to you in points, which was pretty awesome. There's a couple other sales, some codes and stuff, but I think that by the time I air this, it's going to be over. But you could check it, see if these codes still work, and be pretty cool. Let's look in and see what they've got. Something I haven't seen anywhere before. It's called the Touch Toys 2035 Carefree. And there's some other words in there that I don't know if I'm going to pronounce them right or not, but it is a cool looking robot. It is very interesting, and I think we've actually seen this before somewhere, but it wasn't named this. But it does actually transform. This is not just a mech. There's not a whole lot of information about it. It does turn into a jet, but it doesn't. There's not a lot of information about like size and scale and all that kind of stuff, and it doesn't even have the release date yet. But here it is in the jet mode. Looks kind of cool. If you like transforming robots, it's a very, very clean looking jet overall. And it's got a base. It's pretty cool stuff that's going on with it. Right now on sale for $30, they have this upgrade kit, the MHZ Toys MH03 Transport Officer Upgrade Kit for your Fans Toys Thomas or even the KO of Fans Toys Thomas. Comes with the train cabin, thruster, sniper scope, connection piece for sniper scope, sniper barrel, extended rail set, railway signal lights. So it's a nice little upgrade kit. It's pretty cool overall. And the Joy Toy Source Windhammer, this thing is a 1/18 scale Warhammer. Sorry, it is $70, and it does look pretty cool. It's kind of a beefy figure for a 1/18 scale, and releasing in December 2022. So we've seen Fans Toys putting out their Mirage most recently. Looks like their Jazz is coming soon. This is what I think is going to be some artwork that's going to go on it. I don't know. That's what people are saying. This could be artwork, but the whole point of it is that it should be coming by the end of the year. So that is the plan. I'm actually surprised. I am shocked. I did make a video saying that these would not be out this year, and they proved me wrong. So I guess I'm happy that I'm wrong in a way. So I am interested in seeing how this turns out. And I still haven't got my hands on the Mirage yet. Should be getting that one pretty soon, hopefully. So it was some sort of a model event that was going on, and it was pretty interesting what they showed off. Here's a triple changer that is called Shadow Hunter from Trans Age. Does look pretty interesting, pretty cool. Shows a couple of different things you can do when you're in sort of a lion mode or whatever that is, but you can also turn into a car and turn into an airplane. I guess very, very little information about it. And next to it is a gigantic version of it. So this is a really awesome way to show something off. Like show a life-size or larger than life version right next to your display. That's awesome. So it looks like King Toys is showing off their Dinobots Volcanicus Gray prototype. So they are the ones that are making that Predaking, which is pretty awesome. Which, by the way, I do have two of the ones for the Predaking I will be taking a look at very shortly. But it looks like they're moving into another direction with getting some Volcanicus, some Dinobots. So that'll be interesting to see how that goes going forward. These are the great prototypes of them. Will be interesting to see these in bot mode, combined mode, and all that kind of stuff going forward. So the YOLO Park Bumblebee Movie Shockwave Plamo model kit is starting to show up. There are people putting it together, and it looks really nice. It actually does look very nice. And I think it's really interesting to get to see that people take some pictures during different parts of the build and all of that, so you can kind of see it getting assembled. So that's a cool look already. And then, of course, seeing it once it's fully assembled, it looks really good. The YOLO Park is very high-end, very, very expensive. They're going to be putting out this super expensive Optimus Prime down the road, and this is the model kit, smaller and more affordable to go along. Not along with the big one that they're putting out, but they're doing different scales, different sizes, and I think that's pretty good. So right on Q30 is putting out the MDLX Rodimus Prime and Megatron. More photos, more pictures of what's going on. I mean, the vast majority of them just show off the massive level of articulation that they both have. But this, I like to show all the accessories they're going to come with and what they're going to kind of look like more or less side by side. So I think that does look pretty good. So these are due to ship second quarter of 2023, and price on TF Source, Entertainment Earth, Big Bad Toy Store, Chosen Prime, ages 3 and up, Dorkside Toys, Amazon. I think shows he might even have them too. The Rodimus is at TF Source for $80. So that's not as bad as I thought it was. So there's a creator in the community called Collector Crafts making this is sort of a Decepticon type of Teltran one. It's the Decepticon portal there. And it's pretty cool. It looks very good. It's made for either a masterpiece or a mainline, or you can either use it for the mainline or the Legends scale in 2 different sizes, 2 different scales, 2 different price points. You can find them on Collector Craft on Facebook, I believe is the best, easiest way to find them. But they do 3D print this, and it's sort of in a high gloss, kind of a purple, and it's got a ton of decals. Looks very good for what they're making right here. There's some pictures posted by Sam for Action Toys, Unimetals, Transformers, Galvatron, and I think it is a very good comparison to see what the Unimetal, which is another really expensive high-end version of Galvatron, versus the Fans Toy Sovereign right side by side. You get to see the size difference, the aesthetic difference, and yes, it is a bit stylized. I think it does look kind of cool, and it's one of the things about Galvatron is that he isn't really based on any real-world thing, so it being stylized, a stylized Galvatron, I think you can get away with it. It looks really good, and it's big. If you have this one, it's already like 10.5 inches for the Fans Toys, so this one is way bigger, and it's impressive. So getting into some Legends news, New Age is putting out more pictures of their backdraft and the grapple. So this is a really nice picture of their backdraft, kind of what it looks like. It does look pretty good. Nice paint, nice presentation. Looks to be a pretty good design. I do think it is a little bit shorter than the Magic Square one, but depends on which scale you're going with, and if you really care if these guys are much bigger than Prime or around how they scale next to your Prime and all that kind of stuff. So here we go with, they call this Daedalus, and so it does look pretty good. So overall, I think it's pretty good design. I think they did good with it. New Age is also putting out a clear version of their RC mold, and so they call this the H48T Machine Man, which that doesn't make sense, but I guess it does, but it doesn't. Still, it's pretty cool overall. The clear stuff, if you're into the clear, you can get into the clear. I'm picking up this version of the EX, the extra painted, the super shiny version, but this still looks pretty good in clear pink. And here's a roundup of some of the versions of this mold that they put out. I think it's a great mold. I think this one is going to win over, well, Magic Square hasn't done one yet, but it's going to win over what they've done with the McFans Toys or whatever they call Mechanic Studio that's already put one out, which is okay. It's an okay one. But yeah, this is going to win. Also got New Age putting out their H44B Clover, which is their take on a repaint of their Grimlock mold, which looks pretty cool. Looks pretty good overall. Do I want to say it's shattered glass? I don't know, so I'm not sure. But it looks good. Here it is in the bot mode. Bot mode looks good too. And still no inside thigh covers though. So I'm a little surprised about that. I'm a little shocked about that. I know there's going to be a KO company making theirs, and theirs is going to have some inside, well, lower leg covers, calf covers, side lower leg covers, whatever. But that's coming soon. I was thinking I was going to get some with mine, but maybe one day we'll get those covers that they promised us. Sliding into some sweet Magic Square love that's going on. And so with Magic Square, they do have this, it's the G2 or yellow version of their Devastator, and it looks good. I think their regular Devastator looks good. I think this one looks good. And so for me, I'm kind of thinking if you wanted to get one of each, like you want to get the Magic Square and you want to get the New Age, you get different colors, and it would look pretty cool on a shelf and in a display to have one yellow and one green. What do you guys think? And here's Magic Square next to Magic Square, and that looks pretty cool too. So looking at this, it's a very interesting picture, kind of getting to show them off, and with the perspectives and all that, it looks like the green one's taller. They're the same size. I also want to point out there is a standalone New Age David, and I think this is the second one. I don't think it comes with a trailer. It's $65 at Show Z. and it has a super shiny paint job. So I'm so tempted with this. I don't need like a 5th Legend scale Optimus Prime, but it does look pretty good, and the paint and presentation is so high with New Age that it is ultra tempting. But that trailer and all the extra parts and stuff usually make this figure into the $100 range. So 65 is a great price. Okay, so we've got some mainline news here, and so one of the things we've got the Legacy Velocitron Speedia 500 collection, Shadow Strip, and Crasher turnaround video. But the thing about this is these screen captures from this video show some pretty cool stuff, and the thing is that, well, Crasher sold out, and it sells out fast, sells out everywhere. It's going to be hard to get. It's going to be like another Cosmo situation, and I'm actually kind of concerned that they're not going to be putting full run cases of just Cosmos out. So we're starting to hear that they're kind of abandoning some of those reissues, but I hope Cosmos is still one that they do. But looking at this though, GoBots is underrepresented and there's a huge following, so this Crasher selling out should tell them people like GoBots. Here's the alt mode of these guys here, and so that looks what we expect. I mean, we've pretty much got the molds already, so we know what to expect. It's just a repaint, but it's a decent repaint and it works for me. More or less. I mean, this is not a Crasher alt mode. This alt mode does not match Crasher for the show, but I guess, take what we can get, right? So I did watch a video talking about packaging and the plastic-free packaging, and one point that was pointed out was what the Speedia 500 collection is actually the best of the bad packaging, because you can't really do much to the alt mode, but you can still put your finger in there and feel on it. It's open, but it's not like you're going to be able to pop head off of it or cause a whole lot of damage to it or whatever, or theft swapping or any of that kind of stuff through that window. And the G1s were packaged in their alt modes for the most part, so you could start making like the G1 stuff in this. I don't know. I'm trying to come up with excuses. I still don't like it. So more pictures of people opening up their Victory Sabers in package, and so these things should be arriving by the end of the year, is of course what I'm hearing, and so I guess people are already starting to get it. I'm not exactly sure how people are getting their hands on them. Still, it looks pretty cool, pretty interesting. I do like that when you buy a premium figure, they're still going to put some plastic in it, so that kind of works. So I do feel like it's more protected. I did just get my Hero is Born 2-pack with Alpha Trion, and there's just stuff flopping around in there, flying around in there, and when I opened it up, it turns out stuff came unpegged from the figure and it's flopping around in there, so that's not good. But anyhow, this does look pretty good. In hand, out of box pictures show it to be very vibrant. I like the colors. It looks like a Star Saber should. It looks pretty good overall. A Victory Saber with, of course, the Victory Leo as the feet and those kinds of things right there. But what's really shocked me is that it's about the same size as the $80 Skyfire, the Jetfire. Now, I know there's a lot more, way more engineering that went into it and all of that kind of stuff, but I was kind of shocked to see that the $180 figure is about the same size as your $80 figure. So we got a Rise of the Beast Deluxe Air Razor first look here, and looking at this side by side next to the Kingdom version, and it's just which design do you like more? Which one do you prefer? I guess you get multiple options here. The thing is, it's not just a repaint. It's a remold. Lots of different parts on here. I mean, just looking at it, it almost doesn't look like the same figure. So with that, you get two different options of Air Razor within a year. Well, I don't know when it's coming out, so maybe within a year and a half. Here are the alt modes, and again, you can further see the differences in the molds. So yeah, it's pretty interesting looking. I think I still kind of like the Kingdom one better. Which one do you like? So I like looking when there's, hey, look at this. There's some deals going on at Amazon. We've got coupons and markdowns and this, that, and another. And I just looked at it and I thought, this stuff's marked down to what the normal price should be. Well, even, I think that it's still too much for Soundwave, but it's marked down to what the normal price should be already. And so with that, it's kind of like hard to get excited about a sale when the sale takes it just back down to what we feel like the normal price should be already. I want to see a real sale. Like, well, I don't know if I'd want to, even at $100, want to buy that Metroplex. So we got a picture of this massive store display. If you see, like in the Walmarts, that there are store displays and those kinds of things. So we're going to see this for the Rise of the Beast and all that kind of stuff. and it's full of what looks like not very much toys. It just looks like everything other than toys, hats, shirts, all that kind of stuff. So they're really doing some product tie-ins with this and trying to sell a lot of merchandise surrounding it. But we care about the toys, but do we really care about the toys when it comes to the Rise of the Beasts? Interesting. Speaking of the Rise of the Beast toys, there are some things that we're talking about. Something called Power Combiners, Power Alliance, Power Battlers, One-Step Changers, Smash Changers, 2-in-1 masks, basic roleplay masks. Somehow, Chefitron has gotten more information about this, so the Power Combiners are Transformer 2-packs, contain 13cm figures for ages 6 and up, and so Power Combiners, I guess, are supposed to combine together, transform robot into alt mode, and the second figure transforms into an armor or a weapon accessory. Then the Power Alliance is the Transformers 2-pack, and a 13cm and 8cm figure. So it sounds very similar. The larger transforms into the alternate mode, the smaller one transforms into a weapon. Same thing, in a few simple steps. And the Battlers are just pretty much just weapons, so they're target masters for the most part. One-step changers are simple but larger figures that have... They say one step, I bet you it's more than one steps. Every time they say one step, it's never really one step. Or they're just like a brick. So you just stand your brick up and it goes from a car to a bot. Smash changers, these transform into alt mode to robot by smashing it. You hit it and it bounces up. So we've seen that kind of stuff before. But it might be interesting that it's different. And of course, mask and basic roleplay. Okay, so sliding into some other non-Transformer news, we did see that Mattel Creations, I want to keep saying HasLab, it's Mattel Creations and their Eternia, so it funded, but it didn't quite hit all of the goals they set out. So we didn't get the Keklar, we didn't get everybody getting the King Grayskull, but we did get the Modi, and we are getting the set. Now, I want to tell you something about Eternia. I believe the set itself was worth the $550. There are some people that don't feel that way. And so with that, I mean, the community's split. But the tiers themselves did not make or break the playset. They did make or break the timing of when people bought theirs. So with that, I hope they do away with this silly early bird stuff and we can just move on to a standard campaign like we've seen in the past. But I do think that the tiers are important for getting more excitement. That's all they're for, is more excitement so more people join in and buy it that were on the fence. With all the stuff that's going on, I missed this completely. I completely missed the whole Origins Rat Lore wave, and I actually thought I pre-ordered it. I know I talked about it. I thought I pre-ordered it, but it came and went at BBTS in a flash. And so with that, all these figures are sold out. Well, I don't know about all of them, but the ones I was looking for were sold out. You can still get them on Entertainment Earth, but they won't be here till January of 2023. And you can buy them separately, or for like $79, you can get a set of 4. There is some sort of Snake He-Man or something in there, so I will probably just go the Entertainment Earth route on it. But I want to give you guys a heads up, because I bet a lot of people missed this, slept on it, missed it like I did. So there's the CGI King Hiss figure. Now, the thing about this is it doesn't look anything like what we've seen in the past, in different iteration. And with it, I think that the CGI line is not going to last too much longer. I know they had another season, all that kind of stuff. They did make a Castle Grayskull, a whole lot of things going on. But what happens is they start to see the writing on the wall. They start to taper off production. Same thing I think that happened with the Rattler wave. I just don't think they're making as many of them. And they don't make as many because they want to sell them all. And so what happens is the last wave syndrome, the later wave syndromes, they don't make as many. So those are the ones that are the hardest to get. They never show up at stores. You have to order them online and all this kind of stuff. And if you're used to easily finding these in the store. So if you're in on this line, I suggest you find it no matter how you have to find it, whether you pre-ordered on BBTS or Entertainment Earth or Amazon or one of those places. But if you are in on this, don't sleep on this. But it's not up for pre-order yet. I meant to talk about the Clear Jaga last week, but it slipped my mind. But I have a few things to say about this. For number one, it is $55, and it is only available at the Super 7 site. And it's available till December 2nd. But I'm going to pre-order 2 and put it on a payment plan. $110 plus tax and shipping, needs a payment plan. I just think that it's that important of a figure. And I I don't think it's going to go to the other retailers. Now, if it does show up at BBTS, kind of like the other ones did, like the color change Lion-O showed up at BBTS, and then so did the what was it, the Super 7 bat, the blue bat, the comic version bat for G.I. Joe. So those bothered me because I would have rather have ordered them there and not had to pay the additional shipping and not have to pay up front and just wait till it comes in. So with that, they did say, though, it is only going to be on Super 7, so I'm going to go through Super 7 to get it, but I'm going to feel kind of crunchy if they don't. I still think it looks really good, and I think it's strange that the clear Tigra gets a widespread release, but this guy doesn't, and I think this clear Jaga is way more important than clear Tigra. Got a few G.I. Joe topics, mostly in the classified range. A little bit of reaction. I'm going to give you my reaction to the reaction. So here's what's going on. Canada is getting these Serpentors in at Toys R Us. Is it Toys R Us or GameStop? No, GameStop. So GameStop is where people are finding these. Now, they're 120 Canadian, which is 90 US. I just did the conversion. So it's not a whole lot more than we're paying here in the US, and they're getting it super duper early. Now, ours should be shipping, and I'm hearing anywhere between the 18th of November to December 1st. So I don't really know when they're actually going to ship for the US market. But I do want to say that the reason that they're getting them out of the US faster and in different places is because it's not an exclusive outside of the US. It's only exclusive in the US. So this is kind of the same thing that happened with the Outback, the Tiger Force Outback. It's an abundance in other countries, but it is not existent here in the US. So some people are finding the Outback, though, at their targets. So just keep checking, I guess. So for some reason, they're saying this was an updated picture of Big Ben, but I thought we already saw all this, and all the other pictures we've already seen. So anyway, I'm just going to show this picture again, because I've actually never shown this exact picture of the Big Ben figure. And so with it, I don't have any attachment to it, but I will be picking it up, and I'll probably complain about the packaging, but I think it looks pretty cool. It's got a lot of real-world weapons with them and all of that kind of stuff. And that head swap, that is a very interesting, strange kind of head swap. I've never seen quite that type of a face mask before. I don't know if that goes with the vintage version or all that stuff, but still looks pretty cool, pretty interesting, and right in line for G.I. Joe. So this wave of reaction should start showing up right now for you guys. Now, I have only seen Zartan, the Bat, and the Cobra Commander, so I don't know if Snake Eyes, Cover Girl, and Shipwreck come later. For whatever reason, but I'm going to be in on all of them, more or less. I think they look great. And so with that, sometimes you're lucky and you can get them when there's some sort of a thing going on, like 25% off of one toy or something. $18 is still a bit too much, but when it comes to the Bat, I think the Bat is fully worth it, because you have all of those accessories, and trying to get a complete vintage Bat is expensive, but you could put an army of these for a third or an eighth of the price of a complete vintage one behind your vintage ones and build that army. I mean, that's what I plan on doing, but it's going to be pretty cool overall, but it does look cool. These figures look great, but I do want to say more about this, but I'm going to save it for another video. So getting into some Star Wars news. Now, I don't really know where to start with Star Wars news. There's quite a few things. There's nothing really major, but these officers are starting to show up. Now, I probably even showed them on my news and just didn't remember they're coming. This is one of those things where I think I'm in the phase, if I catch them on clearance, I'll buy them. If I don't, I won't. So that's kind of where I am with the Star Wars stuff like this. If you're in on it and you're excited, just go for it. But I'm seeing stuff sit on pegs forever, whole waves, nobody buying Star Wars stuff at both Targets and Walmarts. And so the reason for that is I think people are burned out on Star Wars, and of course we're not getting enough original trilogy stuff that we want. So there's even more stuff to dig deeper and peel more layers of that onion back. But I imagine seeing a lot of Star Wars stuff hitting clearance, next year and pretty much forever until something changes. So when it comes to this set right here, this is the speeder bike with Scout Trooper, and it's in a closed box. This is Aussie Collectibles or something like that. And so this is their picture. But the thing about this is that the original vintage one came in a closed box. And so with that in my book, If it came in a closed box in Vintage, then it should be in a closed box in Modern. And if it came in on a blister card, it should be blister card in Modern. That's just the way I feel about things. I don't know how other people feel. So I'm more accepting of, say, this than I would be of an action figure. But for the most part, this doesn't really match the Vintage 100%, but it is a nice tribute, so that works. So inside of this, it shows that the Scout Trooper is actually a carded figure, which is pretty cool too. So we've seen a Walmart exclusive Arc Commander Vintage Collection figure revealed. This is Colt, and I don't know all of the different clones, to tell you the truth. And so with that, it's hard to get excited. It's hard to keep them straight and all this stuff. I actually missed out on the Axe Wolves because I didn't know he's a Mandalorian guy. So I hear I'm getting restocked on that at my Target. So when they come back in, I'll finally get an Axe Wolves. I guess I still need that one. But with so many very similar figures coming out, it's really hard to keep straight. This still looks cool though. This is a Target exclusive Boba Fett with Kenner Deco, and yeah, it does look good. It looks like a Boba Fett you'd expect, and it looks like it's on the 20-back card. You know, the pivotal first time you saw him, he was on a 20-back card back that looked like this, but then you get turned around, it's going to be a bunch of nonsense. But still, I would love to see 20 backs and all that kind of stuff return. I just don't know where they went wrong. I hope when they do Indiana Jones, they do it right. They do it proper-like, and I kind of hope that with the superpowers that we see with McFarlane, he continues with, even though it doesn't match anything in the past, he still has backs, like 6-back, 12-back, 15-back, whatever. But I like to see that in the Vintage Collection. I think that's the biggest Vintage Collection fail. But what would a 256-back look like? So we got a Target exclusive Retro Collection Luke Skywalker prototype version X-Wing Luke. Okay, that's a mouthful. Here's the thing. I was there when they had them stocked for the last one. I don't remember which one it was. The only one I ever found at retail was the Boba Fett. And I was happy to find it. But then I think the Stormtrooper was next, and I wasn't allowed to buy it. I went back on that day. I couldn't buy it. This has been a giant hoop to jump through to get these. And so I just don't care anymore because I'm so far behind on them that it just doesn't matter to me. If they would have made it a little easier, I mean, I'm not going to go spend $100 for this figure, so I don't really care, 50 or whatever people are asking. But now Target's asking $15 for these, so that's one of those weird things. They're upping the price on these bad boys to $15 for a $10 figure that, at the end of the day, I don't really want. So I'll be passing on this just because, well, A, price, and B, I'll never see it. But now with the new price, I bet you they'll be in abundance and on clearance, right? Alright, so there's a case assortment adjustment for this with Cassian Andor with the Mission, and then Cal Kestis with Jedi Survivor, and then Hunter from Bad Batch. So I'm in on the whole Bad Batch. I don't know why. I really like the Bad Batch. It's one of those things that I can collect 4 or 5 or 6 figures. It makes sense. I don't know about keeping 135 clones straight in my head, but I know I could keep like a handful, a batch of Bad Batch together, and it can make sense to me, and I can complete something. When it comes to Star Wars, it's nice to complete something and not be in this endless waterfall of spending money on stuff that I don't really want. I do want the Bad Batch, though. But as for the rest of these, I'm just going to get them if I see them, if they look good on the card or whatever. But I don't know. We're pushing 300 Vintage Collection figures, and a lot of them are really just the same figure with slight different repaints. So let me know what you think about this week's weekly news and review. Kind of a light week overall, but there was still a lot of stuff to talk about, a lot of things to discuss. And with that, we'll be back, of course, next Sunday with more news. But what else is going on out there that I missed, that I didn't talk about? Because I like to stay in the know. I like to know what's going on. Like and subscribe. Teddy Hanger out.